Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the 8th edition of the HIVE Thrive Community Hour. I'm Shadows Pub, one of your hosts. Buttcoins is our the other host. And today we're going to welcome FokusNow. FokusNow has been a member of the Hive blockchain since 2022. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that he's been doing probably in the last year or so, but before then, I'm just going to welcome him on. Focus, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm really excited to be together with friends here on the show.
So
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I see you joined the blockchain in 2022, but the material we're talking about with you today, your store, has actually come a little bit later. What did you do prior to opening your store?
Okay. Prior to running my store, I've been with the India community. Been writing stuff related to crypto, blockchain, business, and stuff related to that. I've been doing onboarding of new friends to the blockchain, but not on a very large scale. Just the friends here and there, trying to help them to get onto Hive. But basically, I've just been writing about crypto, blockchain, finance articles on the Inleo community. I've been part of the team.
So you got engaged with the Distriator project. How did that happen?
Okay. I've been looking at projects that are being done on the Hive blockchain. I've been trying to see a particular project that suit my my vision of trying to have friends to get on board on the Hive blockchain. So I was just going through the communities and I stumbled upon Spanish BD and I began to look at what they're doing, read about the project, and I got interested and then I dropped a message to 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 one of the admins and then it all got started from there.
So I'm going to leave it to Bitcoins to ask you how it is that you came about developing that store. But obviously, you took an interest in using the Distriator project. How did you find using it in the beginning? Was it something that you were very easily picked up on, or did it take a little bit of a learning curve?
Sure. It actually took a little bit of learning curve actually. Um, um, I was really grateful that we have some materials available that one can look at and learn about the project. There are some videos, there are some tutorials, other articles. So it actually took a little bit of learning, but it was so easy to get along. It was so easy to grasp, and um, after quite a while, it didn't take so much time for me to 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 understand what they're trying to do and learn about how to get it done. So yes, a little bit of learning curve there, but not so much. I was able to get on board and start, working with the project after a little bit of learning. Yeah.
So you're over there in Nigeria. Um, I've talked to Starker some about this project, and you guys over there in Nigeria have just um, raced right past the Venezuelans in using this project. And I imagine that you are a big part of that with having opened that store up. So,
Sure. Yes.
did
Um.
you ever
Um. The
did you ever imagine when you come onto the blockchain that it would lead to you opening a real in real life store or business of any kind related to it?
no no, not at all. That is the most interesting part of it. I've never been into this kind of merchant brick business. I've not, been into running a store of this nature, of this time. It was just
Well, I know Butt's got some questions there for you, and I don't want to walk on those questions. So, Butt, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm excellent. Enjoying the Easter break, spending some time with the family, and yeah, excited to be here and chatting with Focus now. Um, yeah, so I'm kind of interested in, so we heard a little bit there in the introduction about how you were on in Leo and you were just kind of doing more straightforward blogging and some financial blogging and stuff like this. I'm interested kind of the connection points. So you brought up this idea of that you were like looking to support spend HBD, and so I guess my question is well, how does the interest in spend HBD lead to a brick and mortar store? Like what were the connections that led us to that?
Okay, thanks so much for the question. Yes, so basically, I like to get involved in something that is exceptional. I like to get involved in something that brings real value. All right. So while I was on board the Inleo team, I was doing my best to help them achieve their mission. But then I was still looking for an opportunity to do more. I was, looking for a project that has a real world impact. I was, going through the projects that are already existing on Hive, and I was looking at what can, have a grassroots effect, a project that will change lives. So that desire to want to do more, that interest to want to make an impact, led me to discover the Spend with project, and I started getting involved. I started asking questions, and when I saw that this is something I really love, I I reached out to the Spend with the team, and they loved my vision too. I joined them. So today we've gone far in helping this project, you know, get people to join Hive.
So basically, I guess the spend HBD project, uh, conceptually, this is an amazing idea, right? But then in order for it to work, then you need to have businesses and or people accepting HBD. And I'm sort of, I guess maybe I'm jumping into an assumption that maybe a piece of where your own happy customer supermarket came from is maybe kind of like not having enough places to spend HBD to be actively involved. Like pre your store, how many options were there to even utilize or spend HBD?
Sure. Before setting up my store, I actually, looked at the environment where I am, operating. I was actually meeting local businesses here and there, telling them about the Spend HBD project. I have one or two, a few of them that, accepted to be part of the project. It was working pretty cool, though at a little pace. But then I discovered a problem, a challenge, which I eventually, led to, bringing up this idea of having my own store. Okay, so the local businesses that we speak to, they were set up to, just like every other business, accept fiat payments. And when you walk into a store, you are there to, make your purchases, do your shopping, and walk away. So it's not a place where you maybe you ask for a seat, or a place where you want to learn about Web3 and all that. So I discovered this problem. The problem is the businesses do not have a conducive environment where people can stay. While on a shopping trip, they are able to have this comfortable base to see it, listen to talks about Web3 crypto, and then, be able to do all this within the shopping trip. So while a few of these businesses were accepting to 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 work with Spend HBD, letting customers shop and pay in HBD, they do not have a conducive environment where customers can learn, because crypto, HBD, and stuff related to blockchain is pretty new in this environment. So people need to learn, people need to interact with those that are already in the space. Okay, so these businesses not have this environment. They were not designed. It's not a kind of mentorship place. It's not a kind of place where people can stay and stay comfortable, talking about crypto or learning about crypto. So that led me to, setting up a store that, will have a dual vision. In the first place, it is a place where people come to do their shopping, grocery shopping and all that. But on a second, mission, is a place where people can, have, a table, a seat where they can sit down while they are doing their grocery shopping. They will stay comfortable talking about crypto, talking about Web3, talking about spend HBD, and instant cash discounts. So that was what really led me to setting up a store,
Cool.
creating an additional environment where people can stay and talk about crypto. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that basically you were you know able to onboard yourself a few places that were accepting spend HBD or accepting HBD, and but in a way they had to already be knowledgeable, like they already had to maybe be on Hive, they got it, and then so probably I guess for those places that you onboarded, it's probably a pretty low amount of people that are coming. And then yes, so then now if we're going to jump into your store in particular, um I guess why don't you like paint us a picture? So here we are, we're walking up to your front door. Are we walking into a normal grocery store? What like walk us into your store. What does it feel like? What does it look like?
Oh, sure. We I adopted a strategy where customers walking into the store, they do not feel like they're walking into something different. you know I try to make them feel comfortable. I try to make them see that they are walking into a grocery store. But then once the shopping starts, then there is something else. There's something special about the whole idea. There's something special about the environment. So yes, you walk in, you see a normal grocery store. The shelves are there, the goods are displayed, and it's all grocery shopping. And that's the first step to making people feel comfortable. It's not like they're walking into an institution of learning. Sure, it's a grocery store, but then when they walk in, they are able to learn that there's a different way to pay, and get the discounts, and create more value, feel comfortable talking about something they do not know about. So yes, you walk into the store, it's a normal store, but then few minutes later, you are enjoying an interesting conversation about Web3 and crypto payments.
Okay. And just so we have clarity, you walk into this store and you have groceries and you start picking up the groceries, and filling up your cart. Now you get to the end. Are you able to use local fiat currency, or is the store strictly HBD?
Sure, the store is strictly HBD, but we also make room for people who are um, some of the customers that are not into crypto already. So these guys, they've come in, they have fiat for payment, and we are able to tell them that, look, there's a way to pay and you get some cash back. There's a way to pay, and you have more value at the end of the day. So yes, when the guys with the cash come in, we try to let them see that there's a better way to make their payments, and they'll walk away with something more valuable. And 90% of the time, it strikes up their interest, and they want to talk about it. They want to. Everybody needs the instant cash discounts, especially in in this economy, in an environment where um, there is a hike in the prices of stuffs. So yes, even the rich guy that walks into the store loves the idea of instant cash discounts. So yes, that's how it goes. The guy
Right.
with the
So
cash or fiat payments we want to learn about a way to pay and get some cash back.
great. So drilling into this idea, what I'm hearing is you're saying that you could walk in off the street. You just happen to be next to your grocery store. Oh, geez, there's a grocery store. I need some toothpaste or something. So you walk into this grocery store and then you get to the cash register and you realize, oh, this is different. They're taking a different type of money. Now what I heard was that at that point you're kind of explaining to them that if they take a second and sign up, then they will gain access to discounts. But I'm also hearing that maybe they don't have time, and you're saying, well, you said 90% of the people choose to join on for the discount, but that leaves this other 10% that what you have some kind of proxy account that you just allow them to pay you in the fiat currency of Nigeria, and then you then just process it as HBD. Is that how that part works?
Yeah, partly yes, because the 10% or less are guys that they've heard about this opportunity to earn instant cash discounts, but then they seem to be in a lot of hurry. Yes, they seem to be, they might not have time to have an app installed into their device, and maybe start sending HBD and scanning stuff and all that. But like I said before, 90%, up to 90% are happy to wait. Yes, they are happy to wait, and we've already made the environment to be comfortable. So there are nice seats, there's a desk, so hi friend, if you have 5 minutes, we'll be able to demonstrate how a new payment system will make you get, pay less and have more. And these guys are like, what is that for real? Let's do it. Let's do it. So yes, 90% of the time we have these new guys. They're not into crypto. They don't know anything about HBD and all that, but they are willing to have their instant cash discounts, and that is where the comfortable environment makes everything work out.
All right, so okay, let's play a little game. I've just walked in the front of your store. I'm staring at this big sign. Buy fresh groceries. Pay with HBD. What's HBD? Enjoy 40% discounts. Wow, I want a part of that. I want 40% of discounts. So, okay, explain this to me. What do I do? How do I get this 40% discount? What are the mechanisms to get that 40% discount that you're showing?
Whoop, network issue.
Yeah.
Is that his side or is that
It's probably his
So,
side.
oh, okay. Could you hear me very well right now?
Start
now we
now.
hear you.
Go ahead
Now we
now.
hear you.
Okay. Uh, okay. Trying to adjust my device. Okay. Okay. Hello. Is that clear right now?
Yeah,
Yep,
you're good
we
now.
got you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna show you an app you have to install. It's a crypto app actually. So you install it. Is there on the Play Store, whether your device is Android or Apple. You get it on the store there. So just install it, and I'm going to help you set up an account. It takes few minutes, just few minutes. Okay. So once that is done, we check how much you've bought your groceries you're checking out. So once we do that, we check the value in HBD. We'll provide the HBD because you're not into crypto, you don't know what that what that is all about. So we provide the HBD, send it to your wallet, and then demonstrate how you can scan, to actually pay. And then after that, we show you how to claim your discount. So yes, in few minutes, you're able to just download a wallet app from the Play Store or from the Apple Store, and then
Hello?
in just few minutes, you scan, you pay, and you claim your discount.
Okay, when were you
It's
coming
just
out?
something that works very
We
fast.
just come from the grocery store, checked and it's here, so we'll come up in a few minutes. We put the groceries away.
Okay, can you make it about 20 minutes?
Oh yeah.
I'm hosting a show right now.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hello,
Okay. Okay. Yep.
are
Yep.
we there?
Okay. Yep. Yep. I got you. I got you there. All right. So that makes sense. We have a question which kind of goes right along the direction I was going to go, Sue. So I think it's a pertinent question to ask right now. So so we basically, Fairsom asks, do you think it will be possible to keep people using HBD when the discount program inevitably ends one day? Because clearly this is not a scalable past a certain point, and it's coming from a limited reward pool. If if the if the I guess if the discounts end, do you think people keep using HBD? It seems like the questions.
Yes, yes. I would say yes because beyond the instant discount from the spend HBD pool, there are still other ways to get rewarded. For example, once a user, snaps pictures of what they've bought and, uploads it through the channel, it becomes content on the page. And at the end of the day, if the community likes or if the community votes such content, they also earn. So yes, beyond if we wake up tomorrow and there is no instant cash discounts, I really think that the project will still continue to go on because there is additional reward beyond the instant discounts. So people will be able to still do what they are doing and get rewards, even though the HIVE rewards stay for 7 days. But then it will still be a kind of incentive to keep people using the HBD as a means of payment. So I still see that is something that could be sustained beyond the instant reward pool from spend HBD.
Yeah, and we it probably is inevitable that these discounts will diminish, but there's possible. This is a little bit of an assumption, but if this were to ever really start to take off in various places in the world, and if just this mechanism from like a company standpoint, imagine that you are incentivizing somebody to come into your place, take a picture of your place, take a picture of a product that they bought in your place, and then spend that money in your place. It's sort of like a circular advertisement loop that you're encouraging a different type of grassroots marketing, and that in and of itself has its own value. So perhaps the value could like switch to like a type of advertisers program of sorts. Like maybe it switches from being rewarded by the reward pool to being rewarded by a company. I'm just that's just like a direction that I could see it going if it were to really take off, right? Take off like more globally and larger scale. But I mean, baby steps. We're at the baby steps here. I just think it's fascinating that you're doing this and taking the initiative. That's why we're chatting today. Yeah. So you know what? Let's jump into another little factor here, or another aspect of it. Let's jump into the onboarding aspect. So basically, in order to come into your store and use money, like aside from the 10% people that you said that they're just in too much of a rush and they just kind of go through you as a proxy, um, what type of numbers are we talking about? How many people are generally using your store? How many people are you generally onboarding to your store? Spell out what a week of business looks like for you.
Okay. Yes. It's really getting interesting. It's really getting interesting, and the speed is going up each week. The stats we have for the month of March, we were able to onboard more than 20 persons, more than 20 new users for the month of March. A few things have taken me out of Hive for this April, so it's not been easy to keep up with the numbers these first 2 weeks, but I'm back after staying out for close to 2 weeks. Yes, we should be looking at at least 10 new customers every week going forward. Yeah, with the marketing efforts we're putting together, we should be looking at 10 new customers, and taking it forward. We're not just letting these people spend HBD, get their discounts, and walk away. We're looking at making them stay. So yes, we try to help them see that the Hive blockchain is bigger than just getting the instant discounts. Right away, almost everybody is into some micro blogging, micro content creation of some sorts. People are on X and platforms like that. So but every opportunity that I have, I let these new users know that, hey, we have a place where you could take a picture, talk about your breakfast, the sunrise, talk about your vacation, you know, publish a picture and talk about it, and you have friends reacting to your content. So yes, I've been helping these newbies to see that we have a place where it gets interesting to talk about your daily life, and it's short form content. It's short form content. It attracts a lot. I've been using SNC waves to do that recently, and a few friends are finding it interesting. So it's not just about having your discount, but you also have a place where you can talk about anything that matters to you, and make friends, talk about these things, and still get some form of little reward. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it's something I think about a lot, and I've talked about quite a bit. And this is, well, often people join Hive, right? And in a way, it's a big lonely space when you first come on. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to look for. Maybe somebody onboarded you and said you'll figure it out, or they point you toward a community. But often, I think many people feel a little bit lost. And they don't exactly know what to do, or how to like find community, or make friends exactly. And something that interests me about this is the follow through that you have, and the physical location. So it's somebody could join, be having a problem, and literally come into your store to buy some crackers, and be like, hey, I'm struggling with this part, can you explain this to me? And they have a place to like sit down comfortably, and have real life community, real life help with this. And I think it's a fascinating direction to take. And I see it, as a positive in real life way to promote adoption and to promote more retention. I'd be curious, do you have any type of retention numbers? Do you have loose metrics of how many people you onboarded and how many people are continuing to use it for blog posting as well as the discounts, or versus how many are kind of just using it to use the discounts, which I don't think either of them are bad, but I'm just curious if you have any numbers on that.
Okay. I've not been I've not been able to put up some. I will not be able right away to put up some numbers, but I would say that we are having a good retention scale. We are really doing well to keep these people coming back, and not just a one-off thing. um, when I look at the weekly stats of the users that are coming to the store to buy and pay with HBD, I feel happy when I see a good number of the new friends that we onboarded. They keep coming back. But going forward, I will really, from this question, I will really try to, keep tabs with the numbers, especially the retention aspect, which has been a very big problem on Hive generally. I will try to, keep track of the friends that have stayed, and how much they are doing beyond just getting their instant discount. So yes, right now I will not be able to give a specific number, but this is an area of the project that I want to keep tabs with going forward.
How long have you had the shop open, the Focus?
The shop opened on 17th of February 2025. uh, that's
So,
roughly more than 2 months now.
okay. So this is a bricks and mortar, obviously. So you've got expenses and overhead. So far, do you think that your volume is keeping up with those expenses?
Sure. Yes. Yes. The Spend LVD team has been generous with their supports. When I make reports, when I talk about the work we're doing, they support with some good votes. This has been so helpful in covering the overhead cost of running this project. Yeah.
That's great because it can be scary opening a bricks and mortar business. So, and doing it in really a kind of unconventional way, that would probably be even a little bit more scary.
Sure, sure, sure. It is. It is. It is. It is. There are challenges here and there. There are unexpected things happening. But then I really take up challenges. I love challenges. I try to be proactive when they come up. I try to solve them, and the project team being so helpful, it has always kept this program going. So yes, there are challenges, there are bottlenecks here and there, but so far it has been so good, the support.
Nice.
You know, why don't we just take a second and just talk about this thing? Like, look, I call them the grumbly Hive as rightfully grumpy people on it. Everybody has the right to be and think about things exactly how they want to think about things, but I would say we often get into these gripes and doubts and skepticisms. And if we were to go to this skeptical side and we were to say, "Oh, here we are again. Another grift, another sapping of the reward pool. here we have a store in Nigeria being supplemented by our ecosystem. Um, this isn't a real economy. It's just like Venezuela. Where what is the real use case? All of these kind of like grumbles that get said out there on the chain. What would you say to someone who is doubting the veracity or the realness of the store that you've created, the utility that it is? Are are we as Hivians supporting your store, or is your store supporting Hive and Hivians? What do you got to say about that?
Okay. That's a nice question. That's a nice one. Um, Basically, I've shown some I've shown some credibility since I joined the Hive blockchain. I've had this long-term outlook, and I believe in this ecosystem. That's why I've invested in it. When I joined Hive in 2022, I was actually among the few from this area that joined and invested as well. When I joined, I bought 3,000 Hive. I powered up 3,000 Hive, and 2022 till this time, I am yet to do my first power down. So that shows some kind of like this guy, he's looking long term and he believes in the ecosystem. That's the kind of approach that I've taken. Okay, so looking at the store that I've built and looking at the profile I have also built, it shows that I'm not actually here to, to serve the rewards. We are not actually here to, kind of fund something that, someone might run away with tomorrow. It is something, the store, the idea, the project itself is solving real world problems. And when you look at the phrases of people who are benefiting from this, everyone is happy. You're actually making a real economic impact. You're actually, solving a problem and people are happy. So yes, the store is real. It's actually a small IT business that I've been running since 2021. I simply converted the space for this project. It's actually an existing small business that I've been running. Okay, so the sacrifices I've made, the resources I've put into making this thing work is something that is something coming out of me. At the same time, I will not deny the fact that the Hive ecosystem has been so generous, have been so supportive. So yes, on the one hand, I've invested in the blockchain and I've shown that I believe in its long-term existence and survival. On the other hand, too, the ecosystem have been so supportive, and when you bring these two together, you have a project that is going to last for a very long time.
Well, I mean, I hear Starkers talk a lot about this lately. This idea of you know that sure we're a social media site, but it's also should be based around actions and utilizing and utility, and I kind of feel like your store, this project is a marriage of the two things together. It's driving onboarding, it's getting a percentage of people immediately posting and utilizing the chain from that direction, and then it's simultaneously people who are coming in just because they want to be able to shop and they want to be able to receive the discounts, whether they're temporary or not. It's still pulling people on who then need to purchase HBD, thus aiding in the price reality. So I, it feels very win-win currently. And even if these discounts go away, ideally enough people will have learned about the system that it makes it like have longevity legs. I've seen the numbers a little bit that it kind of seems like now Nigeria, I don't know how much of the numbers that are going on in Nigeria of spending HBD is your store alone. Like, is there many places in Nigeria, or is your store really the driving mechanism of some of the high HBD usage numbers that are going on in Nigeria?
Sure, yes. When I look at the stats recently, the few months we've been through in 2025, I would say that Happy Customer Supermarket, my store, is actually driving the usage, the adoption of HBD right now. But there are still other places that are also contributing to that number. We have places in Lagos where Beauty 197 is actually leading. And then we have another city in Nigeria, Uyo. That city, we also have some stores there. IJ Lady is leading the campaign over there. But currently, I would say that a higher percentage of given the stats available on the Distributor app, a higher percentage of the spending of HBD, the claiming of discounts, these figures more, a little more, generated from my store right now.
Okay, nice. Well, that's cool. Well, that's cool for your store, and hopefully it continues to expand there. I'm curious, like how are people getting HBD directly through you, or what is the mechanism? How are the purchases of HBD happening? What is how does that work?
Okay. We've onboarded a few guys that are into crypto. That number is very small, but when we are fortunate to have them, coming, from the crypto sector, um, these guys already are into crypto. So I just help them to see that Hive is 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 existing in, some big exchanges like Binance. So I have one or two people, a few of the friends that come and they say, "Oh, I have some tokens, I have some coins in Binance, I have some coins in, I have USDT here and there." So when I meet these guys, I show them how to, buy Hive off exchanges and send to their wallet. But the overwhelming number, I provide HBD for them. So what I do is I've been keeping, a good community, a good number of persons in our group, and I encourage them to do P2P trading. So instead of selling off their Hive or their HBD to exchanges, we encourage them to sell to us or sell to some other friends who might need it for, spending in HBD. So that way we are able to, have, maintain this kind of circular economy where the HBD flows from person to person, from us to the new users, and it goes around. But from time to time too, we have a shortage of HBD for transactions. So I Bybit is actually working in Nigeria, Bybit P2P. So from time to time I buy USDT from Bybit, send it to Binance, swap for Hive and then send over and then convert to HBD. So that also supplements for any shortages that we might have, sourcing HBD from within us right here.
So Artikush would like to know: are you the wallet owner, or was it a loan of some sort?
Okay.
I'm not sure the
Can you ask that
context.
again, please?
Pardon me?
Yes, I didn't get that. I didn't get that, Roy.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the context on that. He says, "Are you the wallet owner, or was it a loan of some sort?"
Okay. If
I'm
I
not. I think
if I
he's
get
type. He's typing in some more explanation there, I think.
Okay,
Or
okay.
are you
So,
working out of your own money?
okay, yes, yes. You mean the HBD I provide? Is it am I the sole person that sources it?
Yeah.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Actually, I've been into crypto for a while. I've been staking in the Solana blockchain and here and there. So sometimes yes, I actually swap my tokens and send them over to to continue sustaining this project. Yes.
So, something that interests me, and maybe something comes to mind. I'm always, especially when we're dealing with the real world. So now that you've had these months of an operating store that's growing, I saw some of the early pictures, and I see some of the now pictures. Your store has increased in inventory. Um, could could you talk us through friction points that you are coming across while whether it be friction points in the onboarding process, maybe any difficulties with purchases. Maybe do you have anybody that you get inventory from that is accepting HBD for payment of inventory? um, I'm interested in the things that cause any annoyance or slowing down of the process, because at the end of the day, you want the customer to have a smooth experience where they don't feel like their time is being wasted. um, and so this could come this question is, I guess, big. You could answer it, tackle it in the way that you think best. It could be things that you had in the beginning and then resolved, or maybe even some current things that are little frictions that you'd like to see ironed out, that you're working on, or things that you have and you have already worked out.
Sure. Here and there are challenges. There are bottlenecks along the way. Um, yes. Sourcing my inventory, restocking the business, it has not always been easy. The big suppliers are yet
Whoop.
to I've been working with them for some time. So right now they still a good number of them still insist on fiat payments. Is something they've known for years. But that has been a challenge, because you accept HBD and you have to restock, and pay with cash, fiat. So it kind of makes it a struggle to balance the two forms of payment. So but interestingly, I've been working with one of the suppliers, and I've been trying to help him see that this is something that is good. Is something that is workable. Change sometimes is difficult, but it's not entirely impossible. And just this week, I got one of them to to accept HBD, for the supplies. We are planning on doing the first transaction in HBD, and I am really optimistic that this particular supplier, once he starts accepting HBD and allowing me to restock and pay with HBD, things are going to get more interesting. So, but for the meantime, it has always been a challenge. Sometimes the store is forced to sell some HBD, convert to cash and pay to restock. But if we have one, or more of these suppliers accepting HBD, is going to solve a lot of challenges for me right now. But at the moment, a good number of the suppliers are still insisting on cash payments, and we're still trying to work around how they will start accepting HBD. That's one of the challenges that I've faced. The next challenge has been, having enough cash to restock, having enough money to restock. Um, Actually, the store, like like I said earlier, it's not something I've been planning. I didn't see myself going into grocery business. I didn't see myself going to this kind of, business. But here we are today. So I wouldn't say that I was entirely prepared for the financial, you know, requirements of running this size of business. There are some friends that walk into the business, into the shop, and they said, "Do you have this?" Unfortunately, we don't have that. How about this? We don't have it right now. So we try to promise them to to be back in some time in the future to have those things available. So yes, the finance aspect is a little bit of challenge, so we just operate within our capacity for now, and we hope to scale in the nearest future. So I will remember these two as the most challenging aspects of running this store.
So it sounds like you need a
Have
system that
go for it.
when the HBD comes in, a regular portion of it gets converted back out into fiat so that you can do your restocking.
Okay. When I convert the some of the HBD to cash, I have to restock, pay them with the cash and restock. Then when the users start paying in HBD again, we accumulate more again through their payments. It's interesting to know that a good number of the users in the city are active content creators on the Hive ecosystem. Yes, so that helps a lot because instead of selling off their Hive or their HBD, to the markets, they actually shop with it. So they have been a good supply of the HBD anytime we convert to cash and restock. The incoming sales, which are paid for in HBD, helps to grow back the volume accumulated by the store.
If I'm not mistaken, there's probably two or three of your customers here in the channel. I think there's one for sure. A Luchelle.
Yes, Lucille is yes. Lucille
Yeah.
can speak. Lucille.
What's it like to be a customer for him, Luchelle, or with him?
Hello, everyone.
Oh dear, your voice isn't coming in very well. Try again.
Hello, shouters.
Okay,
And
what's it like to be a customer in a shop that takes HBD? She's having network issues.
She's having yes
Yeah,
network issues.
network.
Yeah, it's really
I
bad.
have a
It's really bad. The weather over here is it rained earlier in the day, so when it happens like that, it's difficult to get a clear connection.
now.
No, you're having network issues, Luchelle. Got kind of used to it. A lot of you has come into PYPT. So we're coming down to the end of the hour, and is there anything else that you wanted to ask, but to wind up?
Yes,
Um,
yes. I really wish that Luchi was able to, get through to us. But Luchi has been one of the customers that, from day one, all the HBD she has spent in the store were earned from her content on Hive, and it's just an interesting thing. It's so good. If we're able to have more of the, Hive users, um, being active on the platform, bringing value and earning from their content, we are going to have a ready supply of HBD as they spend it in our store and other places, other businesses.
But
nice, nice. Yeah. Well, it's very interesting to me. I'm gonna be trying to do a real world thing myself. So it's amazing to kind of hear stories from somebody who's out there in the trenches, doing it on their own back already. Yeah, the even just the switching from the fiat and then having to restock, all those things are very interesting to me, and interesting to how we find solutions to those things. And but yeah, I mean, overall, I commend you on taking the steps, because if more people don't actually, what I often say is that, there's a lot of ideas here on Hive, and there's a lot of people that will talk and share, but it's another thing to actually step out into it and take these ideas and put them into action. And it really does feel that you have taken your ideas and your hopes for Hive, and you've directly put them into action. And there's just so much to learn from that. I'm sure that you're learning personally, and I think the Hive ecosystem also has a lot to learn from that. And so, for that, I say thanks. And if yeah, if you have anything you'd like to leave us with, any final words to share with Hive, please do.
Sure. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I've been really impressed. I've been really impressed with how everything is working out. And I would say that Hive needs more people, who can bring value. Hive actually needs, more business-minded people, people who create solutions. And interestingly, we have so many of them right here on Hive. So I will encourage everyone
I think his network's
out
starting to
there
get a little wonky on him.
to try to do something differently. Yes, make Hive to have a real world use case.
I spent a couple hours with Starkers one
And
afternoon.
if we
Go ahead. I think we may be losing him.
have more people, for example, I have people who take up projects
We're
of
losing you.
Hive.
We're only getting part of what you're saying, Focus.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
my
think, yeah, I think your
eh,
network's getting
good.
wonky on you.
Okay. Could you hear me well now?
Yep,
Give it a
I
try.
heard that.
Give it a try.
Okay. Okay. So let's have more builders. Have people who are not just there to create content, but people who are there to build solutions. And the Hive ecosystem has been so welcoming, so supportive. We assure these people that when they come up with something interesting that will bring value to the blockchain, they have all the support they need. And just like that, we are able to grow and expand the Hive ecosystem. I'm so happy to do my part, and I'll continue to do more.
I spent a couple hours with Starkers one afternoon, looking at the Distriator project, and he was demonstrating it. You know, both how it works and the back end of it. And I really love the idea that there's something that people can take and they can go out into the world and they can recruit businesses to accept this currency, HBD. But what I really love is the fact that you've taken it to the next level and said, okay, I'm not just going to recruit store owners, I'm going to create a shopping experience. So well done.
Thank you so much. I'm really out to do more, to grow the store. In the future, I have this vision of setting up more stores, in my city, beyond my city, and I can't wait to see that also happening in other parts of the world. Just like that, we're able to grow the ecosystem and add more value.
Very well done indeed. So, thank you for coming with us today, and thank the audience for being here. And of course, as always, patience when network issues happen. Buckcoins, any last words?
No, yeah, that's amazing. I really enjoyed chatting with you. We kind of bounce around from we talk to devs, we talk to project managers, and then we kind of get down into the real world use cases. And so here today, we really got to see a project in action from a a Hivian that had an idea and took it and made it real. And yeah, thanks. It's been amazing, great chatting, and I'm wishing you well in the future. And we'll keep checking back in, seeing how the growth goes. I hope you do expand to more places and more stores.
And
So I will.
Buckcoins,
I will.
who's
Thanks so
who's our
much, the audience too. Thank you so much.
who's our guest next week?
Our guest next week, we are going to be doing a panel on music on the Hive blockchain, and we will have several guests talking about music from different directions and the state of Hive music currently. We have Steve C is going to be one of the he's kind of representing the curator side of the music scene, and we have Raven. Raven Music is going to be another one of the speakers. We're looking for a band that we're possibly the Trouble Notes, or
Thank you.
they're probably going to be one other guest in the mix of that. And we're just going to have a discussion around state of music on Hive next week.
I think that should be an interesting one. So with that, it's a wrap for this week. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Focus Now, and thanks, partner.
See you guys.
See you now.